The egg aisle in Canada looks simple. You walk in, grab a dozen, maybe choose between large, extra large, brown, white, free run, free range, organic, omega-3, or whatever is on sale, and move on. But eggs have quietly become one of the most confusing grocery items in the country. The cheapest carton is not always the best deal, and the most expensive carton is not always the safest or freshest. Every carton of Canada A eggs on a grocery shelf must meet national standards for cleanliness, intact shells, and freedom from cracks or leaks. But even with these safeguards, the real difference between a smart buy and a wasted purchase comes down to freshness, and that is where the best before date matters most. According to Egg Farmers of Canada, the window for peak quality is 28 to 35 days after the pack date, as long as the eggs are kept cold, between 0 and 4 degrees Celsius. That means the countdown to freshness begins the day the eggs leave the grading station, not the day you find them in the store. A spokesperson for Egg Farmers of Canada puts it plainly: the best before date is your most reliable guide to freshness, provided the eggs have been properly refrigerated from the start. This date is not a loose suggestion. It is the point at which the eggs are expected to maintain grade A quality, with firm whites, upright yolks, and no off odors. If the eggs have been stored above 4 degrees, that window shrinks, and quality drops off faster than most shoppers realize. To make the best decision in the aisle, check the best before or pack date and do the math. If today is April 10th, and the carton was packed on March 20th, you are already 3 weeks into the 28 to 35 day clock. That leaves you with as little as 5 days of optimal quality, especially if you store eggs in the fridge door where temperatures fluctuate. 2 identical cartons can have very different remaining shelf lives, even if they are side by side. The cheapest option may be near the end of its window, while a slightly higher priced carton could be much fresher. This simple calculation, days since packing and days left before expiry, is the most powerful tool a Canadian egg shopper has. It is not about paying more or trusting a label. It is about making sure the eggs you buy are fresh enough to last until you use them. The real trap is not cracked shells or misleading claims. The trap is ignoring the date and missing the freshness clock that starts ticking long before you reach the checkout. Eggs in Canada clear national safety checks before landing on store shelves, but what happens next varies widely. In drugstores, eggs often sit in a single cooler, with deliveries just twice a week. If staff skip careful rotation, older cartons can linger up front, quietly edging toward their best before date. Discount chains like No Frills and Giant Tiger receive eggs 2 or 3 times weekly, relying on staff to move aging stock forward. Markdowns, sometimes 20 or 30%, appear when cartons are within 3 days of expiry, but a discount means little if the eggs will not be used in time. Warehouse clubs restock eggs in bulk once or twice a week. Their inventory systems flag cartons after 21 days, prompting markdowns. But buying a 30-pack near expiry can lead to waste. Premium grocers may boast daily deliveries for specialty eggs, yet higher prices and glossy packaging do not always equal fresher stock. Organic and specialty cartons can sit longer if demand is slow, outlasting their appeal. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has found near-date eggs at every store type, not just discount outlets. In April 2026, the Supreme brand recall, limited to liquid eggs, highlighted the need for vigilance. Yet it is slow turnover and inattentive date checking that most often catch shoppers off guard. A grocery buyer put it plainly: the best before date is your only guarantee. Do not let price or branding distract you from checking the date and doing the math. Every store handles eggs differently. Knowing these habits can mean the difference between a smart purchase and a wasted dozen, regardless of price or label. A dozen grade A eggs cost an average of $4.81 in Canada as of February 2026, according to Statistics Canada National Retail Survey. That number isn't just trivia, it's the baseline for every price tag in the egg aisle. To compare value, divide the total price on the shelf by the number of eggs in the carton. Whether the carton holds 6, 12, or 18 eggs, this formula, price divided by quantity, gives you the true cost per egg. A cost advocate puts it simply, unit price is the only way to know if you're really saving. This math matters more than most shoppers realize. A carton marked down to $3.99 might look like a deal, but if it holds only 8 eggs, you're paying nearly 50 cents per egg, well above the national average. On the other hand, a larger carton at $7.99 for 18 eggs works out to 44 cents each, even if the sticker shock is higher up front. The cheapest carton is not always the best value, and the most expensive is not always the freshest or safest. The key is to check the unit price, then look at the best before date to make sure the eggs will last as long as you need. This approach puts control back in the hands of the shopper. By using $4.81 per dozen as your benchmark, you can spot when a deal is really just clever packaging or when a premium carton is simply a marketing upgrade. The numbers reveal what branding and shelf placement often hide. Freshness and value are found in the math, not the label. Shoppers often reach for brown shells, organic labels, or free-range claims expecting a better egg. Yet, in Canada, these cues do not guarantee a fresher or longer-lasting product. Every Canada A egg on the shelf, whether it's white, brown, organic, or omega-3, meets the same CFIA safety standards. The Egg Farmers of Canada confirm that the best before date, not the label, is what matters for freshness. Specialty cartons, sometimes priced at $7 or more per dozen, share the same 28 to 35-day window as the $4.81 average dozen tracked by Statistics Canada in February 2026. A shopper who paid extra for organic eggs recalled, "I spent nearly $8 for a carton that spoiled before I could finish it. I thought the higher price meant fresher eggs, but I was wrong." The premium label might reflect feed, hen welfare, or marketing, but it does not extend the shelf life. If demand for specialty eggs is slow, those cartons can actually sit longer on the shelf than standard white eggs. The real risk isn't hidden in the ingredients, it's in assuming that price or branding can replace checking the date. The only way to avoid waste and disappointment is to look past the packaging and do the math. Premium eggs may offer ethical or dietary benefits, but when it comes to value, the label alone is no guarantee. On April 12, 2026, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency issued a Class 1 recall for Supreme brand liquid whole eggs and liquid egg whites after tests found Salmonella enteritidis in several lots. The recall covered products distributed mainly in Ontario and Quebec, with lot codes A20260415 and B20260418. The agency's official notice warned consumers not to use the affected liquid egg cartons and advised them to return the product for a full refund or contact the manufacturer. Symptoms of salmonella infection include fever, cramps, and diarrhea. This is a reminder that even in a tightly regulated market, food safety requires constant vigilance. It is important to note that this recall applied only to liquid egg products, not to the regular shell eggs found in grocery stores across Canada. No shell eggs were implicated in the April 2026 incident. The Supreme recall highlights the difference between products that are safe to sell and those that are best to buy. Shell eggs stamped Canada A must meet strict Canadian Food Inspection Agency standards for cleanliness and integrity before reaching the shelf. But recalls, rare as they are, can still happen with processed or specialty egg products. For shoppers, the lesson is clear. Stay alert for recall notices, especially for liquid or processed eggs, and always check lot codes and best before dates. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency maintains an up-to-date recall portal, and supermarkets are required to remove affected products promptly. While Canada's inspection system is robust, knowing the difference between product types and paying attention to official alerts keeps your eggs both safe and smart. 3 cartons, 3 prices, 3 different fates for your breakfast. Lined up on the counter, each carton carries the same Canada A grade, but a closer look reveals the real story. The first carton, picked up from a discount chain, is stamped with a best before date just 5 days away. At $3.99 for a dozen, the per egg cost is 33 cents. But with only a handful of days left, every egg needs to be used quickly or risk going to waste. The second carton, from a premium grocer, costs $7.29 for 12 brown organic eggs, 61 cents each. The best before date is 2 weeks away, offering more time, but a quick shell check finds a hairline crack on one egg, and the rest are already 3 weeks past their pack date. The third carton, a store brand option from a warehouse club, holds 18 eggs for $7.99, 44 cents each. The best before date is 18 days away, and every shell is clean and unblemished. When the math is done, the freshest eggs with the best value are not always the cheapest or the most expensive. They are the ones with the most days left and the fewest flaws. The numbers, the dates, and the shell condition tell the truth that packaging and price tags cannot. This is the difference between eggs that are merely safe to sell and eggs that are truly worth buying. Canadian eggs meet strict Canadian Food Inspection Agency standards, but smart shopping means more than trusting the label. Drugstores, premium aisles, and warehouse clubs each have traps, like old best before dates, high prices, and low turnover. Remember, $4.81 per dozen is not always good value, and the priciest carton is not always the freshest. The choice is yours. Choose wisely.